Hey guys, and welcome back to a new summer night here in the Black Forest. As you can see, I have two beautiful setups with me tonight. That means double the efficiency and a lot of fun. So I arrived here just in time, but I had a little bit too much fun with playing with the video and with the slider that I brought with me today, and I lost a lot of time setting up, and now I just had to finish setting up everything in a rush more or less, and now I am ready. I mean, it's 20 past 10 p.m. so we have about 1.5 hours left until it's fully dark, so no more stress regarding the systems over here, but now it's time to set up the roof tent, and then I'm ready for tonight. That process reminds me quite heavily to Namibia, so at least I got a little bit of practice in setting up a roof tent, because the overall setup is basically the same. And unclip this. Yeah, let's see. And now the pillow and the blanket. And I will do that later. So bed is done. So let me tell you the game plan for tonight. I want to use both of these systems here to capture the North American nebula simultaneously. This setup here, the 300mm f2.8 Sigma lens with the Nikon Z6, will be used to capture RGB data. And this setup here to my right, the Esprit 100 with the monochrome camera, will be used to capture 6nm H-alpha and 3nm O3. I want to use both of these to create one final RGB H-alpha O3 image, and with the really bad timing of having like summer and short nights with only 3 hours, I just want to use both of these systems and capture one image. Both of these systems are pretty equal when it comes to focal length and pixel scale. So on the left here we have 300mm with full frame, and on the right we have 412mm with an APS-H size sensor, so right in between APS-C and full frame, a little bit closer towards full frame. And of course the Esprit is a little bit more zoomed in, but on the left here with the RGB data, I'm just looking for the stars and the overall broadband data, and then I can just crop in a little bit to match the 412mm on the right. And I can start to see the first stars now, and I will start to set up both of these systems here. So let's turn on the power, and then the mount, and I also want to have a quick look on my orientation, or like my alignment to Polaris. It's close enough, that's good. Okay, so 15 minutes later, I had to restart the mini computer for some reason, because the hotspot didn't want to start. Anyway, now it's connected, and we can start up Nina and just connect everything. So the flat panel is open. Now let me quickly create a sequence with NGC 7000 in the center of it. So my polar alignment error is not too far off. Only a few adjustments are needed, so that's perfect. Let's first make the right adjustments. So we're almost there, only have to move a little bit up and a little bit more to the right again. That's perfect. I will leave it right there. So the main system over there, the Esprit, is now waiting for it to get dark enough, and in the meantime I will just finish setting up this setup here. So the camera is connected. Please say that the mount connects without problem. Yes, thank you. And guiding. So the big setup is already pointed towards the Cygnus region, and it should capture the first narrowband image in this moment. And on here I'm still stuck at the guiding calibration, and I hope to finish that soon, and then I will also start this camera, and then I will immediately hop onto bed because I really want to get enough sleep tonight and just monitor both of these systems from my laptop in the roof tent, which is kind of cool, I have to say. And in the meantime, I'm also doing 2 time lapses while I'm sleeping, one for the telescopes, and I have actually one camera attached to my Moravian camera here on the back. You might have seen it earlier, and I'm using that as a fish eye angle, ultra wide angle, like POV time lapse from the telescope. And this is just a ZWO ASI 120mm with the fisheye lens attached to it, and I actually used that camera for monitoring my system while it was installed in Spain for remote use, and now I've just attached it again. I think the time lapse will look cool. I've started already, and now I can see what the guiding does. After a full night of camping under the stars, the sequence slowly came to an end and daylight returned. I was eventually woken up by a small herd of goats investigating the campsite and apparently my equipment as well. Luckily they were only curious and everything survived the visit. With both systems safely parked, I used the first light in the morning to capture the flat field calibration frames for the smaller setup. These images help to correct uneven illumination, dust shadows, and other optical imperfections during processing, and are the key calibration frames that you need to do. After that, all that remained was to pack everything away, take down the tent, and begin the journey home, with 2 complete datasets waiting to be processed. This first image shows the wilder field captured at 300mm, only using RGB data. At this focal length, the entire region becomes visible, surrounded by the dense star fields of the Milky Way. And as you can see here, this is the final result. A combination of 2 focal lengths, 2 different systems, broadband, color, and hydrogen and O3 data. Captured over the course of 2 nights, because I had a second night adding to this trip with only focusing on H-alpha and O3, and I think the result speaks for itself. As usual, thank you so much for watching, and I wish you good luck on your next adventure, and clear skies.